Hello, welcome back to my tie collection review thingy. In case you missed it, this is the second part. You can see part 1 by clicking the link in the description. But without further ado, let's continue. The next tie is Jack. I don't know where this is from. It doesn't have a brand on it. All it says is it's made in China, and all I know is that I ordered it online. How delightfully British, right? I bought this tie for an oral exam. It was an oral exam for British culture as well, which I am still pretty ashamed about because for some reason I think wearing a Union Jack to your exam British culture is not really done. Also, the tie is not even in the right colours because what should be blue is black. So yeah, there's that. This British culture exam was in my first year of university, and in my second year of university I actually had an exam American culture. Therefore I was planning on buying a Stars and Stripes tie, but I never did that, which perhaps is for the better. The next tie is The White One by Bobby Milano. Now this might very well be the tie that is the most expensive in my collection. I bought it for a communion and I haven't worn it very much since because it's a white tie and it's difficult to find a matching outfit. The next one is The Rudolph from Primark. Now normally I don't buy things from Primark. I try to be as conscious as possible about where I buy things and how that affects the world economy and also every single person involved in making a product. Then you might ask, why do I still have this tie? It is because it was a present from my mother, and I don't throw away presents. Like I said, I got this tie from my mother. It was a Christmas present, and it can actually sing. Apart from being able to sing, it is also smooth, like silky, and as I have established, I don't really like that. I do like the drawing of Rudolph on the front, so perhaps I should cut it open, remove the electronics, so it doesn't start accidentally singing, and then I like it better. I don't know, it's still from Primark. The next one is The Purple, also from Primark. This one was also a present from my mother. I don't exactly remember for which occasion. All I know is that I don't really like the design, don't really like the purple. This tie is rather dark, but not in a good way. Also, I don't think purple matches with a lot of colours. Next up is The Santa by E. Graziano. I think I pronounced that right. This tie was a Christmas gift as well, this time from a friend, which is rather lovely because not a lot of my friends give me ties as present, and I think more should. Anyway, I really like the cartoony design on it. It is rather wide, but as I mentioned before, I don't mind wide ties. And I still wear it a lot. It is my standard go-to Christmas tie. Next up is The Bus by Barry Wang. This tie has a funny story. I originally bought it as a party tie because I rather liked the design and I thought it was fitting for a party. In case you can't tell, I don't do parties very often. And the first party I wore it to was with my friend, and she said to me that it looked like the design on the seats of a bus from the 90s. The worst thing is, I absolutely understand what she's talking about. I can totally see it, and I don't like that. However, I still like the tie. I still wear it. It's okay. Next up is The Stonehenge by Fox and Shave. I have always wanted to visit Stonehenge, and last year I finally did, together with my father. And I absolutely wanted a souvenir, and we were in the gift shop looking for good souvenirs, and then I saw this and I thought, Is there a better fitting souvenir for me? And the answer is no. So I bought it, and I actually wore it to that same American culture exam I talked about previously. As I said, originally I wanted to buy a Stars and Stripes tie, but I thought the teacher wouldn't like that very much, so I wore something more subtle, even though this is rather English and American culture is anything but English. But I don't think he noticed because I still got a passing grade, so. Next up is The Illusion by Celio, I think. I bought this tie because I wanted a new tie for my Clark Kent / Superman cosplay. Originally I wanted to sew together a new tie all by myself from the same fabrics I used for the cosplay itself, but I didn't have enough time. I called it The Illusion because it kind of changes color depending on the angle of it. I don't know if it translates well on camera. And originally I thought that was super cool, but now every time I look at it, it just looks kind of purple. Originally I thought it was like red, blue, but now it just looks purple. Remember what I said about not having the time to sew a tie all by myself? Well, I still did it anyway after my costume. This tie I made all by myself. It cost me 4 weeks. It is from the same fabric as my Superman cosplay. This is the blue of the Superman suit and the lining is the red of the Superman suit. However, I don't really like the way it sits. It's rather chunky. Also, I don't wear it very often because I am afraid that it will break, because it feels very fragile. Also, don't know if you can see this, it has like scars on it because I used safety pins to pin it down and then iron it, and they're kind of permanently on it. But I don't really mind. This is my work, this is my tie, and I am very, very proud of it, and it is important to find pride in your work. Next up is The Ravenclaw by Cine Replicas. I am always a bit stuck between Slytherin and Ravenclaw. Pottermore also always hesitates between the two of them, so everyone I know thinks I'm Ravenclaw, and personally I value those values like wisdom and learning more than ambition. But Pottermore says I'm a Slytherin, so yeah. Anyway, I prefer the color blue anyway, and especially the blue with the silver I quite like. I know it is not what is intended in the books, I know that should be blue and bronze, but I can't help but feel like blue and silver just fits better. If they made blue and bronze ties, I would also buy one of those, and I am planning on buying one for each house anyway, but right now I only have the Ravenclaw one. It also has a little eagle on it, so let's just be happy that it's not a raven. Alright, from here on out, all the other ties I inherited from my recently deceased paternal grandfather, so that is the father of my father. They are the newest in my collection, and I've had them for 3 months or 4 months. And also because of the corona outbreak, I haven't had much opportunities to wear them, but I'll still show them off. First off is The Chocolate by Linthati. I called it The Chocolate because it reminds me of chocolate a bit, especially the colours. And I think, does it sound weird if I say it looks delicious? That sounds weird, doesn't it? Anyway, I like it. It is my favourite of my 13 inherited ties, because it looks like chocolate and I love chocolate. Next up is The Second Flower, or The Flower the Second, by Carlo Italy. This one is the son of the flowery one, which I discussed in the previous part. As you can see, it doesn't have as many flowers as his father has, but that's okay. Actually, I think I like this one better. It's still probably my least favourite of the ties I inherited, because I don't really like flowers, probably because I can't smell. So I won't wear it as often as his friends, but that's okay, because I still like it. Next up is The Pineapple by Peter Hadley. Now this tie, I don't know where to begin. Remember when I said the flowery one too was my least favorite of my inherited ties? Yeah, I lied, it's this one. This one is dreadful. It's not that I hate it exactly, it's just that it literally doesn't go with anything. I also don't like the sepia colors of it. It's so weird. It looks a bit like it was once colorful, but all the colors faded away. But I don't think that's actually the case. I think it was designed like this. So there's a pineapple on it. I don't know if you can see that on camera, but why is there a pineapple on it? Oh, actually there's a lot of fruits on it. I hadn't noticed before now. Yeah, like strawberries and a pear, some cherries. Would you look at that? I actually learned something making this video. Next up is the green one by Simons. I don't really like the dark green color, and yeah, this tie basically is only dark green. It also has these, I guess, dog leashes on them. Don't know why. Don't know why you should wear this. My grandfather was a hunter and also a dog trainer, so this really fits him, but it doesn't really fit me. Next up is The Great Gatsby. Now this tie I adore. It reminds me of the film The Great Gatsby, which I also adore, hence the name, by the way. I really like the colors and the stripes and the shininess of it. It just screams Roaring Twenties, to me at least, because I've met some people who don't really agree. However, I think that the Roaring Twenties is definitely a big plus. I don't think it actually is that old, although it is from my grandfather, who was born in the 40s, so I suppose if he inherited it from his father, it could be. But it doesn't really look that old. Next up is Dots and Squares by Emilio Lucchini. Now this one I don't really have that much to say about. I think it wants to be like the chocolate one, but it really isn't. It's a bit too neutral to be like the chocolate one, but I kind of feel pity for it because it just wants to be interesting, but it doesn't really succeed in that way. Although it is a neutral tie, and neutral ties are important. It's actually, now that I think about it, a very good oral exam tie. So I might wear it in June in the upcoming exams. I mentioned the upcoming exams in June, but I probably won't finish this video by then, so either I have to cut it, or either I have to put a dated reference in it. Next up is The Hunter by Frigura, English style. I'm not sure if I read that correctly, because I can't really read the font, but there it is. Make of that what you want. No, it's broken. But I won't be able to fix that easily. This tie reminds me of a hunter, which makes sense because my grandfather was a hunter. Yeah, I really like the colors and the design, but I don't really like the fabric of it. I've never had a thing for woolen ties. The only other woolen tie I have is a Christmas one, but this one feels differently. It feels softer and also more fragile, which might be because it's older. Actually, it's so old that it says made in Western Germany on it. So does that mean this tie is old or I am young? I don't know, make of that what you want. It also doesn't sit really well, I think. It doesn't really tie that easily. So it's not really a good tie in my personal opinion, although it had a lot going for it. I broke the sticker. Maybe I should. Maybe I'll sew it on there again. You know, I kind of feel sorry for this tie. It's old, I don't like it, it's broken, and I broke it even more, so maybe I should give it more respect. Next up is New Age by Michel Selincourt. I hope that's a French name, because otherwise I would look like an idiot. That's a horrible tie. I mean, a horrible knot. The tie is decent, but I'm just going to roll with it. This is New Age. I have no idea why I chose that name. It just kind of fits. I do like this tie. I like the colors, I like the design. It's different than anything else I have in my collection. And it looks most like The Great Gatsby. But it's unique, and I like that. Next up is Green Paisley by Melka. Now, I don't really like paisley. I think it can look good on certain people, perhaps even on myself. But just looking at a tie by itself, that is paisley, no. However, I do like the green and yellow and red combination. Yeah, that I do like. Next up is The Wasp by Emilio Lucchini. Yellow is definitely one of my favorite colors. By the way, am I the only one who's had every single color be his favorite at least one point in their life? So I like the tie, I like the color, just not the design very much, and I definitely like the blue lining. It fits really well. Next up is The Beast. And I called it that because it has animals on it, not because it has anything to do with Satan. Water Break. I don't know if anyone will get that reference. I don't know whether these colors are its actual colors or if they just faded over the years. It looks like yellowy parchment. It has some animals on it, like deer and a panda. Actually, I think that's it. Yeah, just deer and a panda. However, I like animals, and I like this tie. I just don't wear it very often, because it doesn't really go well with anything. Next up is The Brown One by Melka. That's funny, because it's brown, just like chocolate, and it's cool. It's from Melka, which sounds like Milka, which is a chocolate brand. I never noticed those dogs. Well, I never noticed. This is the second time I'm wearing this tie, so really, when should I have noticed? I really like the color and the simplicity of this one. Also, it has some dogs on the lining, which is nice, I suppose. Sometimes I get so focused on extravagant and funky looking ties that I forget to appreciate the simplicity of nice, even, same colored ties. Next up is The Sea by La Cravate Prestige. I think that's the brand. No. This is a shade of blue greyish that I really don't like. It reminds me of a stormy day at the beach, but then there's the red stripes on it, and no, sorry, no, just no. And finally, The Village by Chris Marvel. And this is the final one, my final tie, number 42. This tie is so dark you can barely see the pattern on it, but it's a village, hence the name. And it kind of goes along well with the hunter vibes these last couple of ties have been going with. I don't really like the blue and brown combo, but that's okay. And there you have it. Those were all my ties, all 42 of them plus 3 extras. This video has inspired me to make a ranking of my ties, like in a tier list. So if you want to see that, well, stay tuned, I suppose. If you made it this far, thank you very much for your interest and for watching. And I will see you later.